check it out, guys. Car is gone. So yeah, I did it kind of in a hurry yesterday, so I'm about to clean up and go through all the parts and get everything organized for when the car comes back. But I was finally able to get some steelies off of a buddy of mine because my wheels don't have tires on them yet, and to get the car over to the shop for they can do the welding. So that's already in motion. The guy wasn't there who was doing the welding yesterday, so I expect to get it back sometime this week. Probably not until Friday though, because due to my school, I won't have time till Friday. Then I got to take it over to the body shop afterwards for them to paint the engine bay. So here's the other fender, the other white fender that's trash. So we got to transfer all the, the little turn signal and the little brackets for the bumper, and transfer them over to those black ones because the black ones are in better condition, and throw those white ones away. Then, like I said, I'm going to go through all my parts and stuff. I'll probably add on to this video because this is just showing you guys that the car's gone, that I'm going to install the EGR delete for the ALH motor, and like I said, get everything cleaned up and stuff and ready. I want to get it pretty much in order for when the car comes back, of what's going into the car, like all in order. So what I want to talk to you guys about real quick before we head that way is about this whole thing with Volkswagen. If you guys are not aware, which I'm sure most of you are, being Volkswagen enthusiasts and Volkswagen owners, for the 2009 to 2015 TDI market, and they redid the list. So I guess to give a quick rundown, if you don't know, Volkswagen lied on their emission standards for the U.S. market and potentially other markets, but primarily the U.S. market, on the NOx amount of nitrogen oxide that the diesel car produces naturally, because diesels don't, because of the amount of heat that they produce. So basically the NOx amount was 30 times the limit or something like that, compared to what it was supposed to be when the car wasn't being emission tested. So I'm not going to get too in depth and all that kind of stuff, but the main reason I want to talk to you guys is because if you guys do own a newer VW TDI, I highly recommend you guys to find out. Volkswagen already has like a website that they put up, which is actually kind of funny because in the Congress thing, a few of the congressmen actually told Mr. Horn, and Mr. Horn is the CEO of Volkswagen USA, that they recommend that he put a website up so that people could put their VIN number and verify if their car is one of the affected cars, because a particular congressman, I forgot his name, but he actually owns a 2012 a Jetta TDI, and was explaining how his car was not on the list originally. And I guess like when they did a lot of digging in his particular firm or his office, they found out that his car did fall under the category, even though Volkswagen said it didn't. So I guess right after Congress was basically ripping Mr. Horn a new asshole, they opened up a new little web page, and I'll try to leave a link in the description below of where you can go get that information. And basically you just put your VIN in and it pops up saying yes or no. As of right now, there is nothing going on. And basically, and what's funny is I'm a car guy. Obviously, you guys know that. I do a lot of work, and I'm not talking about, you guys are seeing what I'm doing here. I'm building a full car from the ground up. And I called the Volkswagen dealer here locally that I actually took my car in for a warranty claim for something that happened when I first bought it, and that's where they did my my services under warranty for free. You know how you get that 30,000 mile or whatever. So that's where I went, and they were my service center. And the guy was like, "Oh yeah, it's gonna be a software update. That's it." And this is after Mr. Horn went on TV and basically told everybody that not all of them are gonna need software updates. And the guy even asked me for what kind of vehicle I have, and Mr. Horn specifically stated that certain T1 and T2 vehicles were going to need a urea system installed, and probably or a new DPF catalyst, like a secondary one specifically for NOx or something like that. Like, they haven't designed anything yet. And I don't know, and I'm not hating on Volkswagen, stating that these people are basically trying to cover it up still or something, but like, that's one of the things that irritates me the most, is if you don't know, just say I don't know. Tell the customer, look, they're working on it right now, we're not sure what's going to happen, and as soon as we find out, we'll let you know. No, this dude said, oh yeah, you're only going to need a software update and then you'll be good to go. That's only for the 2015 2016 vehicles that already had a lot of the stuff installed. They just had them faltered with the defeat devices, which is all it is a software coding, which is correct. But he also specified 2009 vehicles and earlier vehicles, like mine is a 2012, but mine does not have the urea system. And that's what they were specifically talking about, is the cars that do not have the urea system is going to have to get a urea system installed to basically get it taken care of. So, it's a lot of speculation right now, but my biggest concern was the resale value. Because, I'm like, okay, so now if I try to go trade in my car, I'm going to get, like, ultimately screwed. And that was my biggest concern, because I'm like, because Volkswagen's stock has dropped like 33% since this whole thing happened. And who knows, it's probably dropped more. But the last thing I heard on the news was that originally their stock dropped just a little bit, then this, that, and the other. And in the past, couple months, it's dropped a total of like 30% of its value. So, and I actually have a couple friends of mine that went to go trade in their TDIs, not because of this whole ordeal, but they were just in the process of doing it, and they almost got screwed on trade-in. The only reason they didn't is because they went to a Volkswagen dealer. But like, one of my buddies, he traded in his TDI for a brand new R because he wanted a Golf R, and yeah, they just kind of almost blew him to the side. And this whole $2,000 incentive that Volkswagen's doing, it's nice and everything, don't get me wrong, because before, the customer loyalty program was only $500, and every now and then they would bump it up to $1,000, like during Christmas and stuff like that, but they would never actually go past that, usually, not that I've seen. So now it's like $2,000, but that really doesn't justify the amount of damage that they've done to their customer base. And I'm not talking about everything else that's going on to the extent that Congress is trying to make it seem like they're trying to overdo it, I think, a little bit. Yeah, it's kind of fucked up what Volkswagen did, but at the same time, it's like, come on, you don't need to do that much. But it's just the customers that they've sold the vehicles to that specifically bought them for clean diesel, for fuel mileage and stuff. And this urea system is just another expense. People are going to have to get the urea, fluid at this point. And then on top of that, it's going to decrease fuel economy. It's going to affect drivability, performance in that aspect of drivability. So, a lot of people are already talking about not doing it. So that's why Volkswagen is trying to find a compensation on money. But there's really big class action lawsuits, and in Texas there's two really big ones that are going on. And I think one of the main reasons why is because, like, I believe up to three, I recall seeing 3 different congressmen on that thing that were from Texas. So those 3 guys were very unhappy, and actually out of those 3 guys, I believe 2 of them either had a TDI, like their family member does, or they knew, like one of the people that they work with had a TDI or something like that. So we'll see what happens with that. I just wanted to kind of talk about it a little bit because it's going on right now. But yeah, as a customer, I can honestly say I'm a little upset, not based off, what they did was screwed up, but I was more upset because they sold us these vehicles for the price of the amount of money that they did. And basically, it's kind of like a breach of contract. You sold us something that wasn't what it was. Like, you falsified information, and that's what the congressmen are going with it. So people understand how they're trying to get Volkswagen to buy back these vehicles, which a buyback I don't think will happen, to be honest with you. I think they're just going to offer people X amount of money based off what they paid for the vehicle. you know, like, hey, here's $6 grand, and most people will take it.
Just freaking